Yeah, it is another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. Raiders, Patriots. We thought we were headed for overtime.
We
And the
thought wrong.
Patriots decide to go Stanford band play in a tie game with Mac Jones under center. As soon as that game ended, I just started laughing uncontrollably for about 15 minutes. Now, you and I weren't going to do a post show today. It was going to be the very first game, preseason, regular season, postseason, since this started, we weren't going to do a show because you have COVID and I have strep throat or something. And so we're like, you know what? Whatever. We'll just take one day off. We deserve it. But after that result, after that fucking anarchy, we had to do it.
Yeah. I was sitting back and I was watching the game. I was kind of like going in and out. I'll be honest with you. I was in and out the whole game. And in the fourth quarter, I'm like, all right, I've got to force myself to stay awake.
Yeah.
And when we won, when Chandler Jones stiff-armed Mac Jones, I'm like, okay, well, he's gonna score. It's over. Yeah. And I felt myself smile. I didn't smile physically.
Your heart smiled?
But I felt myself smile, like, all right. That was good.
Well, this is why when we go with this mentality of, all right, well, if we're not going to win the Super Bowl, then let's bail on everything, tank, get high draft picks, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, dude, football's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy watching your team play. And yeah, it's going to suck, right? You're going to lose games, especially if you're a Raiders fan. You're going to have 20 years of your heart broken. But you got to live for the moments that you can enjoy, right? You got to live for that. And watching the New England Patriots, the definition of disciplined football, the well-orchestrated, perfect football team, which is so well coached and don't make mistakes, and watch them fumble fuck around in a tie game and go Stanford band play when overtime is right there, will warm my heart forever. Whatever disease I have, I think it was just cured by the joy of watching Bill Belichick's team do one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was definitely, I don't know if that was on the play sheet to do a throwback or
did the guys just decide to do it? We're like, you know what? I'm just going to give this a whirl. I'm going to take matters into my own hands. I'm going to win. I'm going to be a hero and win the game right now.
I just I don't know what he was thinking, man. I just don't know. This game, this result pisses me off for last week even more now. Because it's like 7-7. It's pretty good.
All right. Be 500 if we can just beat a Rams team that only had a quarterback for 45 minutes. Frank PSR1, it's a win, but it left me no confidence. We just banged a drunk, ugly girl at the party the way it ended. Yeah. And you know what? It feels good every now and then to just bang the drunk, ugly chick at the party. You know what I mean? You're there. She's there. No one's watching. No one's going to know. Just go ahead.
If she tells anybody, just deny it.
Right. It's her word versus yours.
I'm not going to end up look like fucking you. What the hell is wrong with you?
Alex Fitzgerald Jr., the stiff arm of Mac Jones made me smile inside as well. LOL. It was pretty great watching our super, super overpriced free agent, former Patriot, Chandler Jones, just literally like a handful of Mac Jones's helmet just said, he didn't say it with his mouth, although I hope he did, but he said it with his actions, just like, how's my neck taste, Mac Jones?
You just said,
bam.
Bitch.
Beautiful. That was so like, that felt like roles reversed. That felt like something the Raiders would do to the Patriots, and the Patriots would take advantage of that dumb shit. Right? It felt like completely opposite universes. It's been awesome watching the Patriots be the undisciplined, mistake-trodden, your quarterback and your OC arguing on the sideline like clusterfuck all season. One of the true joys of the 2022-2023 NFL season for me is watching the Pats implode.
You know, man, the Pats are going to do one of these every now and then. You remember a few years ago, 2 years ago against Miami, when Miami did the whole lateral thing and they actually scored?
Yeah.
So they're gonna have one of these games every so often.
Just a trash game by almost all parties involved. We finally, our defense finally found a quarterback that we don't make look like Patrick Mahomes. Mac Jones, 13 of 31, 112 yards. Hey,
You know what
props
was
to the
crazy?
D.
I mean, we had a lot of penalties. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
we'll get to that. But let's just appreciate for a moment.
No, what I'm going to say is, I think we finally found a rotation defensively in our secondary that's going to work out a little bit better, even though they had a few penalties. I mean,
a lot of penalties.
But that's the thing is, like I said it like a month ago. We've always been built on a heavy man structure. Mm-hmm. And the more you play it in game, the more the better you get at it, you know. And
as a heavy man yourself, that's the kind of structure you like.
Oh, God damn it, fucking RJ.
You're hanging in there, bud. I'm proud of you.
I don't have fucking the mental energy to joust with you right now.
So I just, like, this morning I was in Vegas working UFC event. Got to LAX this morning. Felt like shit. Yesterday morning is when I started kind of feeling like shit. Felt it in my throat, fever, lethargic. And I discovered in back-to-back days that there are two cures for a disease. One is watching the Patriots fumble, fuck, and fart out a loss to the Raiders, which was glorious. And two, I went on one of the best runs I've ever won in my life playing craps last night. And I was like feeling so shitty and sick. I was like, let me just play craps for like an hour. Felt like $1 million. I'm telling you, that's a cure for any disease. Football wins, gambling wins. All better.
Yeah. So my grandma, God rest her soul, she would always say, if you're feeling a little sick, go outside and get some sun and walk around and break a little bit of a sweat.
Yeah. The blood flow.
And that's what she always say. And then we would walk around, whatever, and then she would come back in and she would make me a little snack or something like that. And it's just like it releases like endorphins and whatever, and it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
So things that make you feel better will help combat sickness. I don't know what I'm saying, bro. I'm honestly, I'm trying to get up. I don't know.
So this was just like perfectly feeling like the most 2022, 2023 Raiders season game ever. We're up 17-3.
Am I really foggy?
Yeah, you look like you're in a 80s soap opera right now. Clean up your camera. I don't know why your camera fogs up all the time. Do you have like a sauna in your room that you don't
know? It's my
about?
Cats fucking
your cats
are all over this thing.
Cats are pissing on it?
No, they always like fucking put their nose up against it and breathe on it and shit.
So this was starting to feel like a very Raider game this season, and we were up 17-3 at the half, 14-point lead. We are 0-4 in such games like that.
Raiders are like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Pats are like, we got them right where they want them.
Right where we want them.
And we're like, oh, shit. We fucked this up.
That's what I said.
We fucked this up. And literally, my our former host, Eddie Berselli, he's my boss at SiriusXM, does a lot of Raider stuff. Text me. He's like, we got this. I said, look, let me tell you exactly what I texted him. And I thought for sure that was what was going to happen. Because we were up, but we were like, it was mostly the Pats beating themselves.
Hang on.
He texted me, if they blow this one, we become Jaguars fans. And I said, Pats beating itself, Carr running for his life, but by some miracle, no turnovers. This has blown halftime lead written all over it. And that's true, right? Like, even though we were up 17-3, and Mac Jones was 13-31, you were saying like, oh, we finally found like a good, defensive unit in our back and, defensive backs and how we're structuring it. Mac Jones was just missing wide open guys. Mac Jones was just playing atrocious. It's not even like our defense was like playing well. It was just Mac just missing 10-yard outs, just bad reads, weird play calling. Like, it was just ugly. It wasn't like we were playing well. And Carr was under a lot of pressure, and we saw a couple like just flutters, right? Like, he'd be like semi-hit,
a couple of bad decisions
running
out there, dude.
And there were some like he made some like standard Carr, right? He made some great plays that like flip out to Jacobs and some other ones under pressure, but there were some other ones that were just like, that's going to be a pick. And
bro, what are you doing?
Falling nowhere, right?
Yeah.
It's like, this is all going to catch up to us. Like this is exactly this is the falsehoods of our first half leads earlier in the season. Things like this. It looks like we're kicking ass. It's like, no, Mac Jones is just playing like shit, getting a little lucky with some things. The pressure is there, but hasn't caused a problem yet. That type of thing. And it just felt that way the entire time. Sam A, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
3/4 into a Johnny Walker black bottle, getting numb for a last second loss. What do you know? Now it's a celebratory drink.
You hear my cat singing over there? Hey,
right?
Shut up.
They're happy.
I'm on air.
If Sam A really got 3/4 into a Johnny Walker black bottle by himself, it's gonna be a harsh day at work tomorrow. I hope he's got tomorrow off.
Yeah, he's not typing on a fucking laptop or anything right now.
Thoughts and prayers, Sam A.
He's mashing his fist into his phone.
Thoughts and prayers. Thank you again for the super chat. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
JR the Barbarian. My evil twin, RJ the Barbarian, JR the Barbarian. Thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciated.
Thanks,
Glad
sir.
we won, but I sure hope McDaniels can fix his game management if he ends up staying. It felt like the falling apart second half that we've seen all season, right? From multiple elements. Just focus on McDaniels for 1 second, right?
Yeah.
The conservative play calling, they're adjusting to you, but you're not adjusting to them. The big tell to me was that interception, that pick six that Carr threw, because that's that same little like screen that we throw to Devontae Adams every game, almost, right? It's like, hey, they're the corner's 10 yards off of them. Get it to him, let him, run with the ball after the catch. He gets like 8 yards every time, right? It's a staple of our offense. That little screen out to Devontae Adams. Because Belichick is Belichick and knows McDaniels so well. They schemed that brilliant slot corner to make that move and get that pick six. And so it was a combination of Belichick being Belichick, McDaniels in second halves kind of falling back to his routine, and Carr not making that read, right? Like Carr not seeing the slot and adjusting. But it just that to me was like the most, okay, this is how the second half is going to go type play. Because it was all the things that bother us about all the things that have plagued us in second halves all wrapped up into one play.
Yeah, that was, the adjustments weren't there. I think honestly the biggest thing that I saw was the penalties in the second half. We had a ton of penalties in the second half. And
first half, all of the game, we had a ton of penalties.
Well, when you look at a more
13 penalties.
I don't know what
most in a game this season.
I don't know what the split was. I think it's most. I don't know what the split was as far as run and pass in the second half as opposed to the first half. It seemed a little bit more pass heavy towards the end of the game, but in the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter, it seemed about what it was in the beginning in the first half.
Yeah,
the run pass split, but we were just getting put back. It wasn't like we got a 5-yard penalty on a 2nd and 2, and now it's 2nd and 7. It was like always on first down, always put us 1st and 15 or 1st and 20. And then, the Judon and crew could pin their ears back, and it made it hard for our offense. But yeah, the penalties gotta stop, man. It wasn't like it was always the new guys getting penalties either. I heard Miller's name a lot, and freaking Illuminor again.
It was still most of the line.
Yeah, it was a line. A lot of it was the line. Yeah,
that vast majority.
I mean, if you have two fucking new guys, because Parham got hurt, so you got two guys that you just like,
you got practice squad dudes starting.
Again, they didn't do terrible, man. They didn't do too bad.
Sam A, again, thank you for the super chat. I'll go to quote unquote work tomorrow. I sell auto insurance. All right. I'm glad you're not handling like heavy machinery or like an ER doctor.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go look at the referral list. I'll be back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna do my calls in the morning. All right, the power hour. Don't bug me. Don't worry about the light being off. I work better that way.
I can't think of a game where we were kind of like gifted a win like that. I mean, again, props to Chandler Jones. Props to the offense for tying the game. We had to make a lot of moves to get there, but just watching. Normally, we're the ones fiddle fucking around and handing a team that doesn't deserve to win a win. Now it was this time.
I mean, you still have to make the play. It was still a really, really good. I mean, let's not underplay how good of a play that was by Chandler Jones. That was still an excellent play.
You got up there.
Yeah, he got up
Still
there,
got some hops.
and I mean, I could if he got up there and caught it and got tripped up by Mac Jones, we were like, oh man, that was a good play or whatever. But he made the play, man, and that's what we've been talking about. That's what I've been talking about. At the end of the game, these plays matter more towards the end of the game when the final is closer. So, yeah, man, he made the play. I mean, I don't know what the hell Seattle was thinking in the overtime game, the defense they were in. I don't know what they were thinking of, as far as that goes. That was as much of a fucking untouched 86 yards. That was pretty damn easy. I don't know, man. That I haven't seen something like this easy in a long time. I think maybe the last time was when Khalil Mack intercepted a ball like on the 5.
Against the Panthers.
Ran it in.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, I think that was the last time it was like, and it was like right into his chest. You know, that's the last time I saw.
Well, that was and that was like, all right, Cam Newton 2-minute drive and Khalil, and like I don't think that was a terrible play by Cam Newton, like a bad play call. It was just a prime Khalil Mack being prime Khalil Mack, just reading the play,
game wrecker,
hand up, game wrecker, right? Like the game was tied, Soto.
I know,
tied,
man. I saw
going
it.
into overtime, and if not for that Keelan Cole touchdown, the momentum was on the Pats side. Like the offense, what was that? The first like 5 possessions of the second half for the Raiders, it was pick 6, punt, 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 punt.
Yeah.
Like play for overtime. Like the Pats on paper should be like, all right, play for overtime. Like, no, let's have Mac fucking Jones try to be Derek Carr and win us a 2-minute drill. It's like, and not only that, let's do the Stanford band play when we're tied. It's like
it doesn't make a lot of sense, man.
It's crazy.
It doesn't make. I mean, all props to Derek Carr for his late touchdown throw. That was a beautiful throw. Keelan Cole with the catch. That was an excellent fucking play.
I love how we have pass catchers of Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Foster Moreau, Josh Jacobs, and Keelan Cole. Mac Hollins and Keelan fucking Cole is our hero.
Who were they? They were picking on the rookie all day, huh? Because that guy Jones, the returner, they were picking on him all day.
That's why they kept going to Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
Mac had a lot of drops today.
Yeah, he had a couple of drops. He had some drops. But man, all I gotta say was I didn't see any white come up off that cleat.
All I gotta say is irrefutable evidence.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I didn't see any irrefutable evidence.
Yeah,
those are the rules, and that's what we stick by. And again, Lord knows how many times the Raiders have been fucked by that irrefutable evidence rule. Right? It's like, all right, hey, those are the rules, and we're gonna play by it. I did not see irrefutable evidence that he was out of bounds. I'll stick with that till the day I die.
Hey, man. Luke Masterson, man, 11 tackles. Undrafted rookie. We may have found something.
Great. Dude, how awesome does it have to feel to be Chandler Jones knowing you just won that game? And you got what feels better, a pick 6 or being able to stiff arm a quarterback if you're a defensive lineman?
Or if you combine the two.
You get an interception. Well, it's technically not an interception.
Technically
a fumble recovery, but like the act of an interception, right? The movement of an interception. You get the ball. You get to run over to a 23-year-old snot-nosed motherfucker who yells at his offensive coordinator from Bama, right? He's used to being the blue chip. Goes to the Pats, thinks he's going to be blue chip again. And you get to shove his face into the earth's crust and high step into the end zone. Ball in hand, teammates and flank.
That was wild. I have not look, I think what God is trying to do is like, or whatever deity you choose,
Pick one.
is trying to humble me. It's like, look,
It's not that hard.
I know, right? Just look at the mirror. It's like, look, man, even though you feel bad, I'm going to give you something good.
Mhm.
And then when you think something good's going to happen, something bad's going to happen to even you out. So don't get too high on the highs and don't get too low on the lows. So I physically couldn't jump up and down and celebrate, but inside I was doing it.
Yeah. I literally watched the whole game on my lazy boy like this, just curled up, being sick, pounding tea, like soup. Like you got COVID, I got strep throat, just laying there, just like miserable. And as soon as that play happened, I just stood up and started laughing uncontrollably. My wife was like, "What the hell's happened? You've been a zombie for the last 4 hours. Are you okay? What happened?" Like, I just watched the most unbelievable play I've ever seen. And I feel like my white blood cells have just quadrupled in power.
Yeah, man. That was special. That's something that we're going to be able to. You know what's crazy, man? And I don't want to like talk out of turn or anything like that. But this is the type of game that can give a team the kind of confidence that they need in these situations to like be bulletproof.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of these players played in this team last year, and they went through a lot of shit last year. A lot of the players that they had, that the team got that are new didn't have to go through all that, so they haven't been tested.
Mhm.
And you got a couple players coming back off of IR.
Well,
We can
to
have
me,
a chance, man.
this is a reminder of just how shitty the NFL is. Like, these guys aren't allowed to practice. Like, they don't practice. NFL players don't practice. It doesn't happen, right? It's
You have like
sloppy football. It's
1 day
ugly
week practice.
football. It's just not quality football anymore because of the contract between the Players Association and the NFL. Like, they just don't
bargaining agreement.
practice, right? The bargaining agreement is like they just don't practice, and it's ugly football. So when we see, we get so zoned in on our team sometimes. You're like, wow, we're sloppy. Oh, our penalties, the drops, the terrible tackling, the fundamentals are trash. It's like, yeah, that's how almost the whole NFL is like that. And we get so focused on how bad we are as Raiders, and trust me, there's plenty of reason to be. But you forget that was a team with a winning record. They had a winning record. They were 7-6.
They were in the playoff hunt, man. They were in the playoff hunt. They're still in the playoff hunt.
And that's just how bad football is. So, like, we think of how shitty the Raiders do stuff, and you're like, okay, again, no excuse for blowing 4 giant halftime leads this season, all this other stuff. That's clearly a new low and awful. But it's not like the rest of the team is just like a Bill Walsh team for the 1980s that's just like perfect. It's not. The rest of the NFL's
well, that's the thing that's the thing with the guys in the telecast were saying, that just play sound football, do your job, and wait for the other team to make the mistake. And that's, I mean, we didn't play sound football, but
that could get you a winning record in the NFL.
Oh yeah, just don't limit your mistakes. Play sound football, do your job, and wait for the other team to make a mistake.
JR the Barbarian, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Also, that mix-up between Waller and Adams, I feel like that could have been an Adams touchdown. I think Devontae Adams would still be running if Darren Waller didn't like perfectly defend that pass. Like, that was Carr's best throw of the night. Like, Adams was in perfect stride on a 3rd and 10. And Waller just like, I feel like that happens way more this season than like multiple of our pass catchers just like in the exact same spot at the same time.
It worked out for us one time.
Both guys in the same spot at the same time?
No, yeah, because
I think when Devontae and Hunter ran into each other.
That was one. And the next one was when 2 defenders ran into each other, and Perriman was kind of like led into the interception against Seattle. Yeah.
What do you think Bill Belichick is doing right now? Just ripping into dudes? Do you think he's got like a taser and he's just tasing his players? Or does he have like a ball gag and he's just like putting them? What's the thing that they had in the Middle Ages where you put your head in your wrists in that thing that clinks down on you? You had to sit in the town square. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the stocking chamber.
The stockade or whatever.
Yeah.
I bet you he's got Jakobi Meyers in that thing right now. Jakobi Meyers was the player that started doing the lateral. I bet you, I'm almost 100% certain that Meyers just like did it on his own. He was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a hero. I got a whole plan.
I don't know, man.
Obviously, London Raider would know.
Make...
Stocks. It was the stocks.
They still put witches in stocks over there.
Yeah. Still happens.
Hey, fucking Rory's over there. You should go hit up Rory and grab a pint.
God, I much more than watching the celebration in the Raiders locker room, I would love to see what Belichick does on the bus ride on the way out of Allegiant Stadium.
I don't know.
That would be amazing to see.
We're on to Miami.
Yeah, that's what he says to the presser. That's what he says to the media. That's what he says for us to hear. But to his coaches and players, it's DEFCON 2.
Do we have a post game locker room video yet on any of the social medias?
I haven't seen it come out yet, but you know it's coming. You know it's coming. They're just carrying Chandler around on everyone's shoulders. He's still holding the ball. This is what they should do. They should have Chandler on Max Crosby's shoulders, and Chandler has the game ball, and he should be shirt off, right? Just like pants, shirt off, maybe still taped a little bit, like he's still like halfway undressed. And he's got the game ball in his hand, and his teammates are just running up to him, and he's just stiff-arming him. Imagine that. Like he's just like on Max's shoulders, running through the locker room. Boop, boop, boop. That'd be the perfect celebration. Chandler Jones just parading around the locker room. Can we get that trending like he Mac Jones'd him or Chandler Jones'd him? Chandler Mac'd him? Jones on Jones violence? He did that to his cousin. I'm assuming they're not related, but you know what I'm saying. Let's take some chats here. London Raider, RJ's MMA photo from when he had hair means he should never judge someone else's appearance. Which photo are you talking about? I still have hair. It's just running away from me as fast as possible. Dakota, the most undeserved win in NFL history. Well, I would say that they had to get to 20. They had to tie the game with an amazing play. And it did take a lot of brain dead playing calling from the Pats to get there. And it was a nice play by Chandler Jones. Like it was a gift, but you have to accept the gift, unwrap it properly, and still play with the toy. You know what I mean? Denise, worst team ever. How we pull this crap off. That's what I'm saying. Like football is bad. Like it's not quality football. Like Boogie said, half pad practices all week. Like there's walkthroughs and meetings. Like they're not doing fundamentals. They're not doing double days. Like you've got the greats, right? You've got like the quarterback of the team, the hard workers. They're there 5 a.m. They're putting in the extra work. They're putting in the footage. They're watching their game film, stuff like that. But as far as like the team just practicing hard, like the rank and file dudes, just like the cattle working hard, like, hey, every morning we do an hour on the bags before we even get to practice. Like they're not doing that shit. And so you see stupid stuff happen all the time. And we think it's just the Raiders because that's who we focus on so much. It's like when Soto was blowing up on Carr for like inconsistencies. It's like every quarterback in the NFL minus like 4 are super inconsistent. There's like 4 NFL quarterbacks that you're like, wow, you can count on that guy every time. It's just bad play. Just bad football. Now it's still entertaining and fun, but it's just not quality because you can't practice. The athleticism's through the roof. The money's never been bigger.
Talk about practice.
But if you can't practice, you're not gonna get good.
Not a game.
What was that? Not a game. Not the actual
Practice.
game. Not the game that I love. Not the game. What else stuck out to you, Soto? Josh Jacobs held under 100 yards back-to-back games. 93. It wasn't like he was like shut down, but in 4.2 yards per carry. Fine. Good. He slowed down. It's nice when that is slowing down for your running back.
Yeah, I mean, he had some nice runs. I just think that they limited the long runs. I think the longest run he had was like 11 yards or 10 yards, something like that. But
He had an 18-yarder.
18-yarder? Oh,
Yeah, an 18-yarder.
Well, fuck me then. I must have been passed out there in that one.
How dare you not understand this when you have a fever dream because of COVID? What's wrong with you?
Whatever.
So Darren Waller came in and got that big, that 25-yard touchdown reception, which was beautiful. Caught like his defender kind of like that safety's like, oh shit, I got Waller, and kind of like stumbled a little bit covering him. And you're like, okay, he's gone, right? Too tall, too fast. Great ball. But other than that, he was basically quiet all game. Like nothing. He had like a pretty clutch 3rd and 10 that he picked up. But his second biggest play was a perfectly defended pass that was intended for Davante Adams.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was talking about in the beginning of the season when you were talking about how many times we should throw. And I would say, yeah, we should work behind our run and not throw as much. You can't feed all these guys a lot. It just doesn't work that way. You feed your main guy, and then the other guys are just there. When you need them, they're there to make the play. In the beginning of the year, when their number was called, they were making the play. Hunter with his fumbles, Waller with his drop touchdowns. I mean, so now I think the importance of being ready to make the play it's there now. It's stamped in their heads that, you know what, I'm not going to get the type of volume I had before because there's a player now that's by far better than me. Mm-hmm. There's a pass catcher on this team that's by far better than me. And everyone in the NFL would say that Davante Adams is better than Waller and Renfro. Everybody. So we have to take a step back, and we have to be that secondary option and be ready when we're called upon.
Boogie making all the Pats players find their own way home while he takes his private jet back to New England. It's like, all right, guys, you guys can take the bus from Vegas to New England. That's what you guys deserve right now. Or at least Jakobi Meyers. Jakobi Meyers has to take the bus home.
Oh, God. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I mean, I got the first one. Like, okay, hey, let's see if you can get, okay.
Like a hook and ladder, like one hook and ladder maybe. But like, oh, Stanford band play? Raider Al, that game was like having your last few dollars and you hit on the tables or the slots and break even and then some. Raiders.
That's a sick helmet.
Lord knows we've been there, right? Little Legos.
Oh, yeah, we've been there. Fucking Wild Bills.
London Raider, gone to get a massage with Kraft.
I know this place in Phoenix.
You know, place around the corner, admit it. Don't act like it's like a novelty.
There's a spot in Westminster right now. There's another one in Carson I can take you to. I don't let them go, fuck if you have COVID.
There was and then, well, you talk about how quiet Darren Waller was. Hunter Renfrow had one reception. Hunter Renfrow was extra quiet.
That's what I'm telling you, man. When you have a Davante Adams on your team, you don't need to pay. You can maybe pay Waller, yeah, but you don't have to pay Waller and somebody else big money. Mm-hmm. When you see like these groups that have a high paid receiver and then other really good receivers, those other really good receivers are still on their rookie contracts. You know, Boyd is the only one on his second contract in Cincinnati. Higgins and Chase are on their rookie deals. Mm-hmm. In Philadelphia, AJ Brown has a big contract, but Smith is on a rookie deal. You know, I mean, keep going. The freaking Kelsey's making a ton of money, but nobody else in that receiving corps is making money.
Mm-hmm. That's why they have a defense.
Oh shit! Boogie in the house. Garden Grove got some good ones. Garbage Grove always got the good ones. Garden Grove. That's a Cafe Lou. You know what Cafe Lou's all about? It's one of those like Vietnamese coffee shops.
I never got into those coffee shops, like those super caffeinated Vietnamese coffee shops in Garden Grove.
Bro, it's not a coffee shop.
What is it?
You could smoke cigarettes in there, drink freaking just like all these Asian chicks walking around with almost nothing on, serving you drinks, gambling in the back.
Yeah, the best gambling is the illegal gambling. I don't do legal gambling anymore. That's for suckers. It's behind me now. What else? What else stuck out to you?
We passed a lot. We passed a lot more than I thought we were going to.
38 attempts.
And I don't know, man. We had a couple of drops, but Carr just didn't look that good. He didn't look that good. Yeah, I know he had 3 touchdowns today, right?
Yeah, three touchdowns, 1 INT, 231 yards. So remember we were talking about how our line, we're like, wow, this O-line's like getting their act together. They're getting better. They're figuring it out. It's like, okay, yes, we're also playing like back-to-back terrible defensive fronts too. So that made them look better. And what would we say? We're like, okay, New England. That'll be okay. That's the test, right?
That's now the midterm. That's the
midterm, right? The test is the finals is the Niners. The midterm is going to be.
Hey man, next week ain't going to be no walk in the park either. Steelers got a nice front too.
Dude, the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Chiefs at the end. Rest of the season, this old line's going to be, or whatever's left of it, right?
Here's the deal.
Did Parm return? Did Parm return after he got?
I don't believe so. Here's the deal, brother.
Tell me.
I didn't see a big drop off. I really didn't.
It's all kind of the same guys, right?
Yeah, I really didn't. Honestly, even with Parma, I didn't see a huge drop off.
Because like we're replacing whatever dudes with new whatever dudes. Like it's all just like random scrap heap guys. And it's like, all right, let's get another random scrap heap guy.
As I was like floating in and out the early games, I was watching a little bit of. I was watching the Red Zone channel, and I watched Alex Leatherwood get fucking beat terribly on the pass block, and I'm like, "Yep."
Is this a fever dream? Am I watching the Raiders? Oh no,
no, he was in a Bears jersey. He was in a Bears jersey.
Yeah, Carr running for his life most of the game. He did miss a couple wide open guys when he did have protect. Like there's a couple plays where there was decent protection, right? There wasn't anarchy the entire time, but he was on the run a lot more than we like to see Derek Carr be on the run.
Well, he threw a lot more than he normally does. 38 pass attempts is a lot more than we're used to seeing him do.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Penalties early and downs, man. Penalties early makes you pass, and it's predictable.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why he gets a lot of pressure because it's predictable.
Yeah,
become more predictable, and I mean that's why those a 1st and 10 penalty is not equal to a 2nd and 3 penalty. You know what I'm saying?
And there was there was like a 3rd and 13, I think, in the third quarter, and you can tell this is another one where Belichick just scouted out McDaniels perfectly, where the defensive end, like he was like a little screen to Jacobs, and the end just kind of like walked over there and just like stood by Jacobs and waited, and Carr just like threw it in the turf right away.
Yeah,
he's just like that's what happens. Like it's like. It just got predictable. Like
you know what?
To be in the second half.
To be fair, though, we did that a couple of times as well.
Mm-hmm.
To on some of the screens, we blew up a couple of their screens where Mac Jones had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
and they were the front, so the line and the linebackers, they were coached really well on what to look out for.
Mac Jones, 13 of 31, 112 yards. 3.6 average. No touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. But that's kind of like what they ask him to do, right? Just throw like little screens, hand the ball off, don't turn the ball over, and hopefully this defense can save you until Jakobi Meyers decides to start throwing interceptions to Chandler Jones.
Yeah, he had a couple of overthrows that were, he had some guys that got open on our secondary. He just couldn't connect, which is, I mean, that's what you get. You have, when you look at quarterbacks in the NFL, they can all make the throws, right? It's about how they can read the defenses, how quickly they can do it, and how consistent they are. And he just doesn't have the consistency right now.
This is the first passing attack where we didn't get pressure that didn't just destroy us.
Oh, because they're fucking terrible.
That's how bad Mac Jones is. Like that's how awful Mac Jones is. Even he, with no pressure, couldn't move the ball against this defense.
So there's that. Plus, I don't know that that Belichick was ready for us to run almost exclusively fucking press man the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he was ready for that. Yeah, I don't know.
Your COVID brain is still working. Is this the second or third time you've had COVID?
Second time.
Second time?
Yeah.
Second time's always the second time I had COVID. It lasted 1 day. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't have. I mean, knock on wood. I don't have a fever. I take my temperature every few hours, but I caught the fever early yesterday. I was like starting to get sweating. I took my temp. It was like 99. I was like, oh shit.
I got a fever.
Ice packs on the head. Fucking Tylenol. OD'd on Tylenol. Freaking emergencies. Drinking water. And then I cut that shit quick.
Well, we're gonna let you get to bed. Kind of a short post-game show. We weren't planning on doing this show. You've got COVID. I've got strep throat. But after that play needs a name. The Immaculate Reception.
No.
It needs
it needs to have a whole new name.
It needs something. The Jones on Jones?
No.
Jonesin?
No. We got to call something.
We're spitballing here, all right?
There's the
it's more yes and than no. Haven't you done comedy before? It's yes and, not no. We're spitballing.
Oh no, man. I'm trying.
That play needs a name. So we're gonna heal up and do a lot more on this. We get a good, the bad, and the ugly out of Soto. We get our regular shows rolling again. Now it's on to Christmas Eve in Pittsburgh. On the 30th.
Shit. Look at Boogie coming through.
Sin City Miracle. I like it, Boogie. I'm putting it on Twitter. Sin City Twitter or Sin City Miracle. Courtesy of Boogie.
We already have the Motor City Miracle, though. That's the thing.
That's and the music. No, the Music City Miracle.
Music City Miracle.
Yeah. Which is fine because that one obviously, I think we can like semi steal from another play that was
hang on.
Was that a conference championship game, divisional game? Like that was a huge game. This is a game between two teams that are probably not going to the playoffs, right? So you can leave it the way it is.
We gotta figure out some gambling thing.
Explain.
Sorry, I'm dying over here.
What do you mean?
I don't like Sin City Miracle. I don't like it. It's too close to Music City Miracle.
Boogie got it from Raider Honcho. It's got my approval.
Yeah. No, I don't like it.
No? You don't like it?
It's too close to something else. It's got to be something different.
No, it can be something else. Like, here's my point. The Music City Miracle, what was it? Was that conference championship? Divisional championship? It was...
I don't know.
It was playoffs, right? Very important game, and that was the year the Titans went to the Super Bowl, right? So that's the one where you get the big name, the special name, it's yours. But when it's smaller and less important, then mimicking the name makes it more fun. It's like this wasn't a game of major consequence. Let's be honest, right? So you can go and it's like having the same name. It's like if you're a regional fighter and your nickname's Shogun, like you're never gonna be Shogun Hua, right? UFC champion, but in the regional scenes, like, oh, that's kind of cool. He's got the same nickname as Shogun. That's kind of what this is.
It kind of feels cheap.
Just like us.
Yeah.
So the Raiders have the Heidi game, the Sea of Hands, the Holy Roller.
Yeah, none of those are like other names. It's got to be something different.
But those are also all like important games with important times of consequence. This one was kind of just like a lot, basically like a disappointing season, but something to like be happy about.
Dude, the Holy Roller was against like the Chargers or something like that. There was nothing on the line there. I don't think it was just a regular game. Just like the hookers in Vegas. Cheap. Fucking Boogie. Go somewhere. What's the matter with you?
Obviously, you haven't been to Vegas. They are not cheap.
They're not cheap. Even the ugly
ones. So I've heard. So I've been told. That's the rumor.
Okay, come on. Let's get a couple out here. Let's see. So we got Like, what are some of the games in Vegas, right? You got poker, you got blackjack, you got craps.
I'm thinking like Chandler Jones, Mac Jones, lateral, toss.
Fucking throwback blackjack.
See, I want to yes and you, but that's terrible.
I know. You gotta get all the bad ones out of the way.
Get out of your system.
Yeah, right.
Because I feel like half of the cool play was him stiff arming Mac Jones too.
There's a Riverboat Ron, the fucking in New Orleans, where they have riverboat fucking
gambling.
Casinos. God damn. You ever been on one of those? Almost threw up on one.
I haven't, but you're really making it sound really appealing.
Yeah, it was a little rinky-dink thing. It was in where was it? I think it was in Iowa. Let's see. No, Omaha, Nebraska. Let's see. 55. We'll gotta think of something.
We'll think of something. By the next show, we'll think of something. We need Raider Nation.
Boogie knows all the spots. Boogie, you need to relax. On 55th and Figueroa.
What famous boxing fight taglines in Vegas? A bunch of them.
All right.
They don't do taglines anymore. I kind of miss it. It got cheesy, right? Especially like the UFC because they started like running out of names.
It's on.
I think when they did UFC Knockout and it was a UFC event that didn't feature a single knockout is when they're like, okay, we got to stop this.
This is getting ridiculous.
This isn't working. All right. Well, we're gonna heal up before Soto passes out and the last like shred of voice I still have left. These are the games we live for in shitty seasons. Moments like this. This is why you don't tank. This is why you keep playing. I will never, ever forget this game. In a very forgetful season, I will never, ever forget this game. And I'm glad we did this show. We'll be back this week. Healthier, stronger, better than ever. But until then, knock on wood if you're with me.